I'll ask a separate question. They can follow up on that. Did anyone at the White House at any point tell the National Archives in any form that they could not release a press release about the discovery of classified documents?
What's that in reference to?
There's reporting that came from the House Oversight Committee Chairman, Jame Comer, who says that in his conversations with the National Archives, they communicated that they were told, the Archives was told it could not release a press release at whatever point it was about the discovery of classified documents. Did anyone at the White House tell them not to do that?
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. If that's actually what he said, it's probably better to ask the Archives if that's actually what was said and try to understand a little bit more what he meant.
Ian, how long was today's search plan for?
In my first question, you didn't say, though, you couldn't
Josh,
say yes
go
or
ahead.
no whether the FBI, you just can't, can you, because it was yes or no.
I gave an answer to that question. Josh?
Can you say confidently whether you believe there?
Can you tell us what happened? Did they shed any light on any of this?
Well, right before the National Archives came in, they handed us a letter from the Department of Justice informing them and us that the General Counsel for the National Archives wasn't allowed to say anything about the Biden documents. But we went ahead and we had about a 3+ hour transcribed interview with the General Counsel. And what we learned was there is a double standard here with how Donald Trump was treated versus Joe Biden. And I'll give you an example, Sean. If you go on the National Archives website, there's pages and pages of press releases and information about the FBI's raid into Mar-a-Lago and Donald Trump's possession of classified documents. But there's nothing on the website about Joe Biden. There wasn't any press release or anything on the website about Joe Biden. So we asked the General Counsel, why were there no press releases sent on Joe Biden once it was determined that he had classified documents in his possession? And the counsel said that he did do press releases, but he was ordered and told they couldn't be published. So we then asked who gave him the orders, and he said, I can't tell you that. But there are only two people that could have given him those orders, and that's either the Department of Justice with Merrick Garland or the White House with Joe Biden. So it shows right there that this Department of Justice and this White House is interfering with this and treating Donald Trump very differently than they're treating Joe Biden.
Well, I want to hone in on that. So in the last 48 hours, the last 2 days now, we have had Jim Jordan's Committee on Judiciary denied documents by the Department of Justice. Now, you are being shut down in your investigation of the archives, which is critical to getting to the bottom of this. Then we have this whole issue of a double standard. We have 5 different locations where documents were found with the Bidens. Clearly, Hunter Biden, a crack addict at the time, had access to some of these documents. Nobody's had to answer for that at this point. They've never gone into whether or not why hasn't there been a prosecution in over 3 years as a result from the Hunter Biden laptop? And why are they ignoring the University of Delaware, this trove of documents that Joe Biden has there? Why didn't they raid the home of his beach house in Delaware? Why is it they didn't tell us before the November 8th midterm that, in fact, Joe Biden had top secret classified documents? Why didn't they tell us that, in fact, the FBI went to the Penn Biden Center? They treated this entirely differently than the way they treated Donald Trump, haven't they?
They have. And another question we asked was, well, why can't the White House tell us more about their documents? Are they allowed to talk about their documents? And the General Counsel for the National Archives said he didn't have any problem with the White House being transparent about what's going on with their investigation. So it's not the National Archives, it's the Department of Justice. It's Merrick Garland's Department of Justice. And remember, Sean, we wouldn't even know about the fact that Joe Biden had classified documents in his possession were it not for a leak to CBS News. So someone leaked this out. We would never have heard it from this White House. They would have covered it up forever, like all the other cover-ups they're doing with every major part of our investigation into the Biden family influence peddling.
Now, here's
pretty simple, just to be very clear. Has the FBI conducted any searches of any other locations associated with the president that you or the White House is aware of?
Look, I think we're providing information as this goes on and answering questions about the search activities as they've been happening. I don't want to speak too much to the DOJ's practices in an ongoing investigation. I can say, that we have cooperated fully. The president's personal attorneys have provided information to DOJ. We've addressed openly and directly the searches that were conducted first at the president's Wilmington residence and then today at the Rehoboth residence. You saw in the statement that was released by the president's personal attorney, for example, that no documents with classified markings were found in Rehoboth today. And so, we're going to continue to try to provide information as this investigation goes on and ensure that you guys have the ability to share with the American people sort of the information that is important for them to see as the president's cooperating with this investigation. So I want to be very careful to respect the integrity of that investigation, not speak too much to the Justice Department's decision making and their activities, but as it's appropriate, like we did today, if we have information to share about activities that have been conducted, we will do that.
But just to be very clear about this, Go ahead. Let me follow up if I can very quickly. I'll ask a separate question. They can follow up on that. Did anyone at the White House at any point tell the National Archives in any form that they could not release a press release about the discovery of classified documents?
What's that in reference to?
There's reporting that came from the House Oversight Committee Chairman, Jame Comer, who says that in his conversations with the National Archives, they communicated that they were told, the Archives was told it could not release a press release at whatever point it was about the discovery of classified documents. Did anyone at the White House tell them not to do that?
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. If that's actually what he said, it's probably better to ask the Archives if that's actually what was said and try to understand a little bit more what he meant.
Ian, how long was today's search plan for?
In my first question, you didn't say, though. You couldn't
Josh,
say yes
go
or
ahead.
no whether that FBI. You just can't. Can you? Because it was yes or no.
I gave an answer to that question. Josh?
Can you say confidently